know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, we see that. You know what I'm saying? We see where, in more ways than one, we see what she's been. This is coming in by Douglas Murray 2 days ago, New York Post, the politics. You know what I'm saying? Where he asking the question, or ever the ad is asking the question in the report, what's she's been smoking? The absurdity of Hoxsell ban on cigarettes but legalized pot. You know what I'm saying? Which is a very good question. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like she's just trying to gain girly points in more ways than one all around the board. You know what I'm saying? It looks like Kathy Hoxsell, nutcase ass, is gearing up to a full ban war against the tobacco industry. You know what I'm saying? Really, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? As the Post reported this week, after trying to ban menthol cigarettes in New York, she's now, you know what I'm saying, she now looks to try to, you know what I'm saying, ban, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, the sales of tobacco products outright. You know what I'm saying, in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying, when we see here on this one, you know what I'm saying, you may be in favor of that, or you may not, but there is something I cannot understand. If the sale of tobacco, you know what I'm saying, products is to be made illegal, what are New Yorkers meant to mix with their with their recent legalization of marijuana? There's a lot of other things they could do with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's but not the worst of it all. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? And by doing that, it doesn't seem right. It seems like Cadillac is working a plan that when you get it to where she wants it to be, if it ever happens, you know what I'm saying, then they're going to start fucking with that as well, because they are already done messing with the good herb by hybridizing and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it, thanks to the law signed two years ago, it is now illegal for anyone above the age, is now legal. I'm sorry, it's not with the law 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's now legal for anyone above the ages of 21 to be in possession of 3 ounces of cannabis or 24 ounces of concentrated cannabis in New York State. But this makes no sense. Why legalize pot and try to get rid of tobacco? You know what I'm saying? Does Kathy Nutcase Hoxsell want New Yorkers just to smoke the stuff straight? I love to know. You know what I'm saying? Me too. You know what I'm saying? What a weird set of priorities. Yet, in some ways, it is typical of a demon planning sneaky ass attack. Demon Democrat. Talking about spreading democracy all across the world. You know, you spreading demon mockery and using that to invade into people's country. Talking about a philanthropist. You know what I mean? For the more you look at the demon Democrats' vision of life in New York, the more you see, the more you understand, you know what I'm saying, the strange maze of, you know, contradictions that this city is becoming. A smoke shop recently opened a couple doors, you know, alongside, a couple doors along from me, you know what I'm saying? And there's one even down the road right here. The result is that people, you know what I'm saying, loitered all day outside the building smoking pot, hanging around, and often zonked out of their minds. I don't think so, unless they're doing more than pot. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it this way, you know what I'm saying? As you look at it this way, you know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. But we see New York have got used to this, but tourists and other visitors are rarely impressed, you know what I'm saying, when friends visit from out of town, particularly from anywhere outside America. They are amazed at the new sights of New York with the reek of marijuana everywhere and zombies, you know what I'm saying, rolling around on the pavement, unless they're doing more than weed or you're fucking with the weed in general, putting chemicals and all kinds of poisonous shit in the weed. You know what I'm saying? Because natural weed shouldn't do that. A natural herb shouldn't do that. So you're hybridizing your plant in something because you're attacking the poor people once again in your scheme. Same thing J. Edgar Nutcase ass Hoover did. You know what I'm saying? What is more amazing is that nothing that we were promised about legalization has actually happened. Yeah, because that was just a girly point for Bill de Blasio and Como in order for you for them to make, they got desperate to make every and any criminal and everybody in the world, you know what I'm saying, we smoke pot and so on and so on, you know what I'm saying, to vote for them. You know, they were running out of options. Remember, they pulled the same stunt with George W. Bush when he's not going to World Trade Center, send the whole country into such bad light to the point where they had to pull out the black card, which wasn't even a black card, it was an Arab card, really, you know what I'm saying, talking about the first black president, when he was not the first black president of this country, you know what I'm saying, and he was an Arab, a Muslim, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? And then you try to pass that off as the black because you want to cover up all the garbage that George W. Bush had did with the World Trade Center, the war in Afghanistan, invading the people country, saying that they had mustard gas and nuclear weapon capability, which they had abandoned that about 10 weeks probably ago, 10 years, or 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And he's still saying they weren't doing it. It was all about invading and removing a tyrant in which they put into place. Now I'm saying, and now his time was over, so they wanted him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing they're probably trying to do to me. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? If you know, but I don't give a flying fuck because where one is lost, one will be gained. You know what I'm saying? So you just doing the inevitable. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's futile. You know what I'm saying? But remember that Bill de Blasio, crazy behind, said back in 2018 when, you know, extolling the virtues of legalized pot. He said we have a chance to create a brand new industry that would lift up every New Yorkers, would lift up everyday New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, it'll build up the economy too. You know what I'm saying? But you see, it's not all about that. It's about getting at the poor people and, you know what I'm saying, controlling their minds like it's zoned out. You know what I'm saying? Really, most New Yorkers who have, you know, benefited from the law change seems pretty despondent to me. And I'm not certain that the rest of us or other businesses in the city are really lifted up by this wonderful new industry. You know what I'm saying? We see Governor Como, you know, Como Romoras, yeah, you know, promised us that the legalization of pot could create somewhere between 30,000 to 60,000 new jobs in the city with up to 350 million each year in tax revenues, probably even more than that. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder how many people have lost their job due to the law change and how many people are making themselves unemployable because they spent all day stone. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? But when we look at this situation, it still come out the Cadillac is full of shit then as she's full of shit now. You know what I'm saying? When we're moving on to the New York Congresswoman, Claudia Tenney, or whatever her name is, demands FBI investigate threats posed by, I think, vegan extremists. You know what I'm saying? In other words, people who are against, you know, them killing the animals, I think is what they're talking about. This is coming up by Victor Nava 21 hours ago, Eastern Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the New York Post Politics News. You know what I'm saying? But we see the Claudia, you know, Tenney on Thursday called on FBI Director Christopher Weary to investigate alleged criminal activities being promoted by a vegan activist group in the upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? In her letter to Weary, the New York Republican, you know what I'm saying, alleged that California-based group District Action Everywhere, you know what I'm saying, has been using her home state to fundraise and recruit people to actively disrupt farms in rural communities in the Empire State. I don't know about farms. Why you fucking with the farm is a question I'm asking. Well, we need to be farming food in all ways and one. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to feed no population by a vegan diet and a vegan diet only. You know what I'm saying? It's more to that than just that, because even vegan, you need a whole lot of other things in order to keep your body going outside of the bullshit that they're talking about, because vegans ain't going to make it no better or worse. And I bet you them vegan suckers were starving. You know what I'm saying? A roast pig with an apple in his mouth and a steak burning over a fire, being smoked and crispy and all and juicy, dripping. I bet you they were starving. You know what I'm saying? There was no other food to be had. They'd be sucking on the bones of that damn hog. You know what I'm saying? Talking about it tastes like chicken. Moving on. You know what I'm saying? But we see U.S. research, U.S. funded research to create mutant virus at Wuhan lab ahead of COVID-19 records show. You know what I'm saying? I don't know whether they develop it or not, but it sure won't floating in the air. You know what I'm saying? And you sure didn't need a mask against me. But at the same time, because that was no more than a smoke screen to make you think there was something there and make you do something there. You know what I'm saying? But the U.S. funded research in now, you know what I'm saying, to create this, and how he's saying everything is coming from the Eco Health Alliance, and this is coming in by Fred Lucas 2 days ago, Fox News. You know what I'm saying? Political news. But we see here where the Eco Health Alliance used U.S. tax dollars to research mutant virus during its work with the Wuhan lab in China. According to the federal grant application. Judicial Watch, a conservative watchdog group, obtained 552 pages from the National Institute of Health through the Freedom of Information Act about grants to Eco Alliance that included information for research the group did at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. All the nice information is coming out so lovely now, isn't it? You know, the Jones used to make them so good at home. And, you know what I'm saying? You know, in June 5th, 2013, grant 2013. I told people already I knew about this 09, and probably before I picked up on a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? But notice the number, June 5th, 2013. You know what I'm saying? A grant application from the Eco Health to the National Institute of Health explain its plans to use that COVID virus to create a mutant virus, according to one document in the release. They're going to use that to create this. They've been creating these bullshits forever. You know what I'm saying? And throwing them on the people to see how it would do, and then probably go stick it in a nuclear bomb, which they're going to drop on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But with that COVID, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That we've isolated or subsequented, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And using live virus or, you know what I'm saying, pseudo virus infections in cells of different organisms, or express different receptors, you know what I'm saying, and nucleus, you know what I'm saying, we will assess potential for each isolation virus, and those which receptors, you know, bind binding site sequence to spill over. You know, these people are completely out of their fucking mind. Whether you did this or we can prove this in any way, you know what I'm saying, to its fullness. You know what I'm saying? Even if you did it there and then you, to me, seem to have bottled it in some way, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, this is retarded. You know what I'm saying? When you look at anybody even mentioning this type of study on any level at all, it's retarded. Same thing we had when COVID-19 was on and they was talking about making a cure, and so one guy was talking about chimpanzees. He wanted to put the chimpanzee on the line. You know what I'm saying? For people to go, go get the chimpanzee jump off. You know what I'm saying? And he was up there talking as if like it made any goddamn sense. And anything he was saying at all, other than he wanted to put his DNA into other people. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where, you know what I'm saying, they're using this nonsense to overspill. The grant application explains we will do this by sequencing the spike, you know what I'm saying, which Anthony Fauci, Fong Fauci, Killer Weasel like to talk about, or other receptors binding, fusion, protein genes. Listen to this. From all our bad, codes, you know what I mean? Creating mutants to identify how specifically each would need to involve to use the ACE2, the CD26, the DPP4, and the MERS-CoV, you know what I'm saying, or the MERS-CoV, you know what I'm saying, CoV, receptors or other potential co-receptors. The research, the ECO grant application said would allow, us to determine critical receptors binding sites, viral host range, and to better predict the capacity of our COVID, you know what I'm saying, COVS to infect people. So even if you didn't do it, do it, do this is whatever story you're kicking, it still came out to the same thing. It isn't where it came from or what the deal is and the drill. It is what you did to the people as a whole in order you saying that you were doing some kind of good work against something that you jumped up probably and tried to put it in the minds of people, using one now as your catalyst to say that this danger has spread across the earth, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so on. Get the fuck out of my face. You're garbage. You know what I'm saying? Watchdogs, you know what I'm saying, wants top Biden officials to turn over message after Hunter PBS Biden, you know what I'm saying, political theater, you know what I'm saying, emails are found. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to turn it over because they're going to protect him. Now we see Fauci, you know what I'm saying, Fauci, the killing nutcase ass weasel, you know what I'm saying, and why Gartens, or whatever her name is, shameful. Don't blame us. Don't blame us, lies. Don't blame us, lies. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We see Anthony holding his motherfucking head on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because he's an idiot. And when we see idiots, we know idiots from what we see. And he's garbage then, and he's garbage now, and he's probably going to be garbage in the near future. You know what I'm saying? So nobody ain't paying Anthony for fines to kill a weasel any goddamn mind. Because he for the dead man. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to look into the nonsense and what he is. And I don't understand why he's still in the government. But this is coming by the Post editorial board. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Post or editorial board on the game 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? But we see what weasels. What a weasel. Anthony Fauci, the killing weasel. Demon Democrat, deep state, fraternal order, sucker, dumb idiot. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Anthony Fauci and many of his colleagues, and also even PBS Joe Biden, belonging to a certain group. And this group actually believes that if you don't believe in what they believe in, Jesus Christ or whatever whatever Luciferian God they call Christ or whatever, in whatever they're doing, if you don't believe in it, then they have the right to destroy everyone in the whole wide world. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the theories they have. You know what I'm saying? That if you don't believe in that shit, that we are infidels, we are this, we are that, we're everything under the sun, and they have a right in order to destroy us. You know what I'm saying? In their scriptural garbage nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But what Weasel, Antifa Project Killer Weasel, who repeatedly misled the nation on COVID, and, you know what I'm saying, Randy Weingarten, who played a key role in enforcing destructive school shutdown, refused to take any blame for the America's pathetic pandemic response. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they ain't gonna do none of that. Same thing he did with AIDS. When he put AIDS out there on the people, did he respond? The people literally had to firebomb the NIAIDS laboratory, you know what I'm saying, to get him to move, to give up a cure, and he still didn't give up one. He gave up some old fake ass bullshit, really. You know what I'm saying? They literally had to bomb the damn laboratory, the NIAIDS laboratory that he was, you know, supposed to be running. You know, NIAIDS, you know, drop the N in the I, what do you have? You know what I'm saying? But he said that, and what response? You know what I'm saying? That people said that Fauci shut down the economy. Yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And made sure he did it right as Trump was coming up for election too. All was pulled exactly in sequence and time. You know what I'm saying? Notice when the force of this came at the end of Trump not having enough time to straighten this thing out and shut their fucking asses down because he was on the re-election tip. You see what I'm saying? So many of the people who had followed the demon Democratic lying propaganda, you know what I'm saying? Demon Democratical Black Caucus dummies, civil rights idiots, you know what I'm saying, who telling the people to vote Demon Democrat every year because they're getting paid millions of dollars from the deep state and all the rest of them, you know what I'm saying, and put out all these different groups out there that been out there for years that people haven't noticed. Because that's why they call them secret. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he put that shit in that way because that is exactly what he does. You know what I'm saying? Drop the N of the I on NIAIDS and what you have. You know what I'm saying? But he shut down the economy, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, talking about the Center and Disease Control and Prevention. Yeah, and all y'all funded by Billy Gold Gates, the killing motherfucking goat, beast, Luciferian Baphomet worship, philanthropist, idiot, along with Soros jackass. You know what I'm saying? And Antifa ain't no different. They all in the same group, and they believe that they have the right to destroy us in any shape or form. This is why my man Sergeant Slaughter was over there investigating that guy. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Detroit, wherever it was. You know what I'm saying? Of a whole shipyard of rubber coffins. What would you need rubber coffins for? And then when he discovered that, they put them on a truck and kept floating them around to make sure that nobody could ever see them because they're always on the road covered up with a Freemason sign on them. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so on. But those were rubber coffins, and I believe that's what 95% of the people who was going to, you know, get, you know, away from the greasing or whatever, you know, is going to end up. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? But he did this exactly coming to the end of Trump election because Trump didn't have enough time to really fan out and protect the people because he was too busy fighting to be reelected. Because if he didn't, he knew if he was able to be reelected, he would have been able to put a stop to all of this, including the war in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? So they pull all of this overload stunt, which the demon Democrat loves to do, and then that will cause people like any candidate to be unpopularized and blackballed by the people itself, believing that the demon Democrats are telling them the truth about something that is supposed to be coming, the big great one. You know what I'm saying? So we've got to do something now because that's what Obama was talking about back then also. You know, that we got a grade one coming, so we got to start developing this and developing that to stay ahead of it. Hillary Clinton was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Michael Johnson, Michelle Obama, she was saying the same thing. Bush was saying the same thing. All the demon Democrats were saying the same exact fucking thing because they all was on the same Luciferian, one world, new world order, Luciferian, Albert Pike, bullshit plan. Let's get that straight. Right here. Right fucking now. They have taught your people inside your very own home, you know what I'm saying, that will kill you in order to collect money. So you better be careful in the shit that they follow. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? When people say Fong Fauci shut down the economy, wasn't Fong Fauci the Center of Disease Control Prevention that pulled the stunt right as Trump was getting out of office, and people were stupid enough to go for that, and that's why they were not. That's why they were seeing Trump in an unpopular light. First, they were talking about the border problem, which Obama and Hillary Clinton and the rest of them caused. Then you was talking about this pandemic, and Trump ain't no care about us because he cared about you. That's why he wanted to stop it. You jackass. But because he was up against the pressure of re-election and Fong Fauci the killing reason pulling this stunt at that time, you know what I'm saying, precisely sequence, you know what I'm saying, he had no choice but to try to cut and collate to keep the people on his side. But the people was already filled with the poison from the demon Democrats going back so many years, all the way up to his re-election, you see. So all they could do in their mind is, oh my God, we're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Trump don't care about us, so you know what I'm saying? They ain't voting for that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And then listen to the demons, you know, Democrats, and they telling the truth, and all the time they're telling you a fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we see where he was a head of the Center of Disease and Prevention. You see.